Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Andika Dietzel. I'm a student of the Faculty of Law from Universitas Pamulang Serang, kelas 04 KSP 004. Today, I would like to present a topic entitled Criminal Procedures at Court, with a specific focus on the examination by trial. By the end of this season, you are all expected to achieve a few key learning objectives. First, you should be able to fully understand the flow and legal text regarding criminal procedures by translating passage correctly. Second, you will master essential legal vocabulary and apply them correctly in sentence. And third, you should be able to confidently express your comments and opinion regarding these procedures. And finally, you will be guided on how to find a court summon or surat pengadilan and redraft in professionally in English. So, prepare your notes and let's get started. To begin with, let's look at the big picture under the legal framework. Criminal procedures at the trial examination level general consists of their main stage, summoning, examination or adjudication, and judgment. Let's look at the first stage, summoning. How does a trial session actually begin? Well, it all starts when the head of the district court receives and the case dossier from the public prosecutor. Upon receiving this dossier, the head of the district court will form the aside a panel of judges to adjudicate with, which means to officially hear and judge the case. Once the panel of judges is formed, they will determine the exact date of the trial. For this purpose, the judge will order the public prosecutor of the official summon both the witness and the accused to appear in court. Moving on the second stage, examination or adjudication. Did you know that under the Indonesian Criminal Procedure or KUHP, there are actually three types of examination procedures. They are: first, ordinary examination procedures known in Indonesia as acara pemeriksaan biasa. Second, summary examination procedures or acara pemeriksaan singkat. And third, express examination procedures known as acara pemeriksaan cepat. For today's lecture, we will focus heavily on the ordinary examination procedure. Why? Because this is the most common, comprehensive, and complete procedure used for adjudication case in our court system. Let's break down the step-by-step procedure on ordinary examination. The ordinary examination consists of several stages. Chronological steps. Let's go through the, them on by one. Step A. In the examination of identity, identity at the very first court session, in the panel of judge will order the prosecutor to present the accused accused and the witness. The judge will then thoroughly check the identity or the accused. This is crucial to verify that the person standing in court match the identity written in the letter or indictment. It also serves a mechanism to check if there are any conflicts of interest between the judge prosecutor on court clerk with the accused or their lawyer as mandated by Article 157 of KUHP. Step B is the letter of indictment or dakwaan. Here, the judge will order the prosecutor to read out the formal charge against the accused. After it is read, the judge will directly ask the accused whether he or she fully understands the charge. Step C brings use the demurral or exception. The accused has the legal right to raise objection against the prosecutor's indictment. However, this must be done before the court examines the main substance of the case. Legitimate grounds for a demurrer include the court lacking the competence to judge the case, the indictment being unacceptable, the indictment being avoided, or change made to the indictment. Step D. In this prosecutor's response, the demurrer, naturally the prosecutor is given the chance to answer and argue against the objection raised by the accused. Step E is the interlocutory judgment. Their panel of judges must make a temporary discussion regarding the demurrer. Have have to they have their choice. They can accept it, reject it, or stage. Then the demurrer will be decided later or along with the final matters of the case. If the judge accepts the demurrer regarding court comprehensions, the indictment is returned to the prosecutor to so they can file it the correct district court. If they accept a demurrer stating the indictment is void, the court examination is considered complete. The prosecutor can college this interlocutory judgment by filing a perlawanan or verdict to the High Court. On the other hand, if the demurrer is rejected, the trial moves forward smoothly. Now, if the trial continues, we enter step F, the examination or witness advance and the accused. The in the This is the core of the trial. Witnesses are called into the courtroom one by one. For every single testimony given, the judge will ask the accused for his or her opinion. The prosecutor, the accused, and the defense attorney all have now the trial continues, we enter step F, the examination of witness, evidence, and a cause. This is the core of the trial. Witnesses are called into the courtroom one by one. For every single testimony given, the judge will ask a cause for his or her opinion. The prosecutor, the accused, and the defense attorney all have the legal right to cross-examine the witness. Experts such as forensic doctors can also be called to give testimonies. for furthermore, any physical evidence must be shown to the accused to see if they recognize it. Once the examination of evidence is finished, we move to step G. Prosecutors, known as requisitor or pan, penu- penuntutan, the public prosecutors reads out the formal prosecution and demand of sentence, and a copy is handed out to the accused, their lawyer. Next is step H. H. Defense or plaidoy, where are the accused, the entire lawyer mounts their legal defense against the prosecution's demands. This is followed by step E, replique, which is the prosecutor's response to the defense, and step G, duplique, which is the final response from the accused against the prosecutor's replique. Finally, we arrive at step K, the deliberation meeting of the panel of judges. When everything is complete, the judge will declare the examination closed. Through it can be reported if no evidence appears. The judge will then hold a private meeting to deliberate on the final outcome. In principle, the judge should be unanimous, but what happens if they disagree? In the case of a non-unanimous opinion, two rules apply. First, the judgment is made by a majority vote, and second, the decision adopted must be the one that is most favorable to the accused. The words of our session on the criminal procedures at court under English for specific purpose. Understanding these steps on not only builds your vocabulary but also give you a clear insight to how criminal justice is served in the courtroom. Thank you so much for your attention. Don't forget to complete your group translation and assignment. Stay safe, keep practicing your legal English, and I will see you all in our next meeting. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.